Hey, what's up, guys? Here to talk about five-game NBA slate. Give me a sec. Let me tweet out the live stream, then we'll get into it. We got a lot to talk about. There's still a lot of news right now up in the air. We don't know the Mavs starting lineup. Are they going to start Boban? We don't know if the Bucks are going to rest any more guys. I mean, I don't see a reason why they play their main guys, but you never know. So we got 30 minutes to lock too. So this one should be a fun one. Let me see. All right, so if you guys are new to the live streams, what we do, go over all the news we get so far today. You can look over the Vegas lines and then go a team by team breakdown, give you guys the plays I'm looking for, and then answer any questions you guys have at the end. I'm going to try to keep a close eye here on Twitter for these lineups in the early games. The way the NBA's been going these last few days, I feel you just want to play all the bad plays because that's what's making sense right now. Kind of being sarcastic, but kind of not. That means that Bielitsa. You guys aren't familiar or you didn't watch, what was that, Sunday? I think I liked him a lot against Houston. Great spot. Only played 5 minutes. In a meaningless game, a couple games ago, he played 33. In a meaningless game today, he's on pace for over 40. Harry Giles, who I played today, 4 minutes. Luke Walton, you're a good coach, man. Tell you what. And then the Robert Williams, Enes Kanter thing. Enes Kanter, a veteran. He, in a meaningless game, plays 18 minutes. The young guy, Robert Williams, give him some action. Nope, 6 minutes. So I feel like you just want to play all bad plays and then you'll make money. But no, seriously, I will try to do my best to break down the slate. But how it's been going the last few days, it's so hard. The Lakers playing last game against Denver, playing all their starters like 40 minutes in a meaningless game against backup guys. So, all right. So we did get Porzingis just ruled out. Milwaukee guys, we have Ersan out and George Hill out. I think we might get more, but you don't know for sure. Again, Milwaukee is not playing for anything right now, so I think there is a chance that we get a lot more guys resting, but we'll see. Porzingis did just get ruled out. Bielitsa going off. Yep, I know. I can't with Luke Walton, man. I can't. I am going to pull all my hair out because of him. All right, so 5 games, Mavs, Suns, at 238.5 over under. The Suns are 9-point favorites. Suns have to win this game. We have Porzingis already out. Luka on the other side, I think, is in play for sure. It's tough because Dallas, they don't have a lot to play for, so will they give Luka all the run? I don't know. So Luka on the other side is a little bit risky. The spread is kind of indicating that maybe Dallas does not give Luka full run, but we'll see. Jake Anderson, full tilt, let's get it, $5 super chat. Hey, thanks again, man. It is full tilt season right now in the NBA. Nothing's making sense. You just want to play all the bad plays and you'll win money. But I really do appreciate you coming in once again and hitting me with the super chat every single day. So thanks again, man. All right, yeah, Bucks, Grizzlies. Again, I think there's a chance we get some more Bucks resting, but hopefully we get that news soon because we got about 30 minutes to lock it to adjust. 231 over under. Memphis, they have to win. They're 4-point favorites. Spurs, Jazz, 232.5 over under, or 232. Spurs are 8-point favorites. Again, they have to win. Utah resting some guys. I think there's a chance that the starters only play the first half like they did last game. Blazers, Nets, again, the Blazers, they have to win. 236.5 over under. They are currently 10-point favorites against the Nets. Nets starters are a little bit more up in the air, but we've seen them, rest basically every other game. I think, they still get their normal minutes, but that's no guarantee there. Guys with LeVert, Jared Allen, right? And then finally, Pelicans, Magic, 228.5 over under. Magic are 4-point favorites. Both teams have nothing to play for, so could be some weird stuff going on in that game. All right, let's do it. Milwaukee, Memphis. Well, I feel like I should come back to this one because we don't have the starting lineups yet. Hopefully we get that soon because I think there is a good chance Milwaukee rests more guys. I don't see why they would run their main guys like any minutes. We already have Giannis out, George Hill, and Ilyasova out. But I think we could get a lot more guys resting if that's the case. Again, guys I mentioned like Frank Mason, Pat Connaughton, DJ Wilson. Jeez, I can't talk. Even Francis Antetokounmpo, however you pronounce his name. Like those guys would become very, very valuable if they rest a lot more guys. So I'm going to come back to that one, I guess. Hopefully we do get that news soon. But as of right now, we do not have it. All right. So, yeah, I'll come back to that. Memphis, they have to win. John Morant at 9K is going to be, he's an interesting contrarian spot up because not a lot of people are going to get to him. And there's potential of him going up against second and third string guys in this game. Right, so Booker, Lillard, they're going to eat up so much ownership on this slate that going to a guy like John Morant, I don't mind that at all. He was on pace for, I think, like 45 minutes in that game against Boston, but it turned into a blowout. So he is literally going to play basically the whole game. Sure, 9K does feel like a lot to pay for John Morant, but hear me out. Again, they have to win, and if we're going to get 45 minutes out of John Morant, I have interest in him. So, yes, I do have interest in John Morant. JV's at 7-7. It's tricky because his minutes. It's just the minutes with him. He wasn't even going to play 30 in that game. Like, if I knew Jonas Valanciunas was going to play 35 minutes, I would really like him, but the minutes are always up and down. It's worth a shot in GPPs, but, he could play 25, he could play 35. He really needs to play those 35 minutes to crush. So, that's a tricky one. He could also be going up against, like, backups and third strings, potentially. Dillon Brooks is the last guy I'll mention because he's been shooting the ball a ton. 18, 26, and 15 shot attempts the last 3 games. He's scoring dependent, so I'm not going to get there, but I get it if you do, right? He's going to play good minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. So if you get to Dillon Brooks in the mid-range, that is fine. All right, Dallas, Phoenix. So Dallas, they don't have anything to play for right now. It is a little bit it does make me feel uneasy targeting Luka Doncic at 11-4. I think if he does get his full minutes, I think he could definitely get you there. But now it's a little bit more up in the air right now with Dallas, so it does worry me a bit. Porzingis, we do have ruled out. Let's see. Doncic is always in play risky. Yep, exactly. Porzingis is out, so I would consider whoever starts the center, whether it be Boban, whether it be Maxi Kleber. Now, that last game when Porzingis was out, Boban started and played 25 minutes. And it's not like they're playing a small ball team. Like, Phoenix plays 8 in most of the games. So it's actually not a bad matchup. I could see Boban starting here and getting 15, 20-plus minutes. You never really know, though. I'm just going to warn you guys. Rick Carlisle is one of those coaches. Him, Luke Walton, Greg Popovich, guys like that, Mike Malone, really hard to trust them ever, really. But, again, we know that upside is there from Boban if he does get the minutes. So I do like Boban. It's just, does he get extended in this one? I think there's a decent chance because the matchup actually isn't bad for him. Kleber, if Boban starts, is an interesting contrarian play because Boban, in my opinion, will probably get a lot of ownership. So I think he makes for just an interesting pivot. He looks like he's going to give it a go. Phoenix, again, they have to win this game. Booker's at 9-8. I know it feels like a lot to pay for him, but right now, just like John Morant, he's going to play over 40 minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. It's a good matchup, so I have interest in Booker for sure. And where you're getting out of him is the minute security. Ayton at 8-1 makes for just an interesting pivot off him. It hasn't really flashed the upside just because it's been Booker taking over. Could you see DeAndre Ayton have a decent game? Sure. But, hard for me as like as a one lineup guy for me to get to DeAndre Ayton. If I was making multiple lineups, I probably would have a little exposure. But not going to get there for one lineup. Ricky Rubio's at 7-3. I'm not going to go there either. Even in like games they've had to win, they're still giving Cam Payne, Javon Carter minutes. So I'm not paying 7-3 for him. A couple people have asked me about Bridges, Saric at 5. Like, they're okay. I don't think they have enormous upside if you get to these guys. I think they're fine plays, but not my favorite. So it's just hard in the mid-tier, right, with so many good spend-ups and probably going to be some good value. There already is some value. Still no news in that late game, which is wonderful. That's what I wanted. Kidding, of course. But yeah, let's go to the Spurs. So Spurs, if Phoenix win and Memphis win, the Spurs have nothing to play for. So this is a really interesting strategy approach. If both those teams win, there could be a lot of value here for the Spurs. Like a lot. Like this is where we could get some value, and then we have like a guy like Tony Bradley on the other side who I love. So this could be the game right now where we get huge value. Again, if Phoenix wins and Memphis wins, the Spurs have nothing to play for. They're out of it. So I assume they rest most of their main guys. Then we could look to guys like Lonnie Walker, maybe Keldon Johnson, Eubanks. Like, those guys would become very, very – even like Samancic hasn't been getting any run. He would become a viable punt. So this could be where we get some value if those two teams win, because then the Spurs have nothing to play for, and I assume they would rest some guys. Let's just say the Spurs, one of those teams lose, and again, the Spurs, they have to win. So Guy, I mean, DeRozan's at 8-1. Even in must-win games, he's still not getting huge minutes. He's going to play 32, 33 minutes. 8-1, it just makes him hard for me to recommend him when you have guys that you know are going to play over 40 plus. Murray and White, again, they're interesting plays in the mid-range, contrarian options, but it's hard for me to get behind those guys when it's setting up for such a stars and scrubs build. Let's see. Let's go to Utah. So Utah, after what we saw last game, they started the normal guys and then rested them in the second half. So I think we get more of the same here. Gobert and Conley are out. Mitchell, Ingles, and Clarkson and O'Neal I have no interest in. Could they still play a full game? Sure. I mean, the way the NBA has been going the last few days, I would not be surprised if just like Donovan Mitchell plays like 45 minutes in a meaningless game. But seriously, I think they should, like, there's a good chance they only play the first half after what we saw in the last game. If that's the case, it makes for some interesting value plays. But first, Bradley, I love him at 3-4. Whether he starts or not, I think he's going to get good run. In 22 minutes there against the Spurs when Gobert's out, he went for 41 fantasy points. Now, sure, right? They still have Ed Davis they could use. Last game, they did start Ed Davis at center, but Bradley's the guy that has a lot more upside. So those are two guys that are certainly in play for value. I obviously like Bradley a lot more. I think he's one of the top value plays of the day. Assuming he starts, again, even if he comes off the bench, I like him. He's going to get a good run no matter what. Last guy I'll mention here is Emmanuel Mudiay. 3-3. If those starters do rest in the second half, it's going to be Mudiay that gets a huge boost. He'll run the point guard a lot. He'll be like the guy, kind of running the offense. He's at 3-3. Like, I could see him having a decent day. If we don't get a lot of value opening up, like, he could be a guy potentially you take a shot on. So it's definitely Bradley for me, and then followed by Mudiay. Let's see, Boban starting. Did they just come out with a starting lineup? Let's see. Mavs, yep, they are starting Boban. Suns starting their normal guys. That's kind of what we expected. Whew, this one's a little bit tricky because, man, again, they don't have anything to play for. Does Luka get his normal minutes? Really hard for me to trust it, but and same with Boban. Again, I think the matchup against Phoenix makes me think that Boban will probably get at least 15 minutes. If that's the case, he's a really, really good value play because he's a great point per minute guy. Now, he is going to be playing alongside a higher usage guy like Luka, but yeah, it's really up to you. It's a tricky one. You're putting your trust in Rick Carlisle, who I actually have zero faith in. But my best guess, again, I would not be surprised if Boban plays 5 minutes. I'd not be surprised if he plays 25. My best guess is we get about 15 from Boban at 3.5? Yeah, that looks pretty good. So there could be better value opening up, maybe. Again, maybe even in the Bucks game that we don't have the starting lineup for yet, and we have 15 minutes left. Yeah, so it's a tricky one. I don't think Boban plays many minutes. I mean, yeah, like I said, I would not be surprised if he plays 5 or 25 minutes. My best guess right now is somewhere in the middle, somewhere around like 15. Tough one for me, really, for me to break down. But yeah, back to the Jazz again. It's Tony Bradley, who I really like, and then Moody, I don't mind taking a shot on there. Portland, they have to win now. Interesting note here: if all three of Memphis, Phoenix, and San Antonio lose, Portland's locked into the 8th seed, so they would have nothing to play for. I don't see that happening at all, but it's a possibility. And then Portland would rest their starters, but I think that's like a 1% chance that happens. So Lillard's at 11-2. What do you do with Damian Lillard? Well, he's going to play 40 minutes, and he's going to shoot the ball probably 25 plus times. He has been on fire. So it is a very, very scary fade if you do end up fading Lillard. Could you, though, at 11-2? Yes. There are other plays, right? Devin Booker, I think, looks good for less. Ja Morant. Maybe take a shot on Luka and hope he plays the whole game. There's guys on the opposite side that are viable. Karis LeVert, Jarrett Allen, who are going to go unowned. But if those two guys get 35-plus minutes, they could crush their salaries. And then finally, Yusuf Nurkic on the same team. Absolutely terrible. Made me look like an idiot the last time I said I kind of like to pivot off him off Lillard. But it's a good spot, and we've seen 50-plus fantasy point games from Nurkic before. So there are other options. I don't necessarily know if Lillard's a must-play, but he's a very, very scary fade at the moment if you do fade Damian Lillard. Nurkic, 9-2. Again, he made me look like a complete idiot that last game. Only shot the ball 9 times. I mean, he's kind of taken a backseat offensively with 8, 9, and 9 shots just because it's been the Damian Lillard show. Do I still think Nurkic is in play? Yes, but he's definitely a contrarian option right now with how well Lillard is playing. And then same thing with CJ, who's been dealing with the back injury at 7'9". He'll probably still get 40 minutes. He only had 16 fantasy points that last game, shot about 2 of 14. He's going to go virtually unowned. He just is, right? Because everyone's worried about the back injury. People see that last game. But just hear me out on this one. Again, this is not like a one lineup play, but if you're making multiple lineups, in games that Lillard struggled, when Lillard struggles shooting the ball, like he did against the Clippers, 39 minutes, 34 fantasy points. That's when CJ and Nurkic have their good games, right? Against the Clippers, 39 minutes, 48 fantasy points for CJ. I think Nurkic had like close to 50 on that one against the Clippers. What do you have? 45. So there's correlation there. If Lillard is struggling, it's CJ and Nurkic that have the good games. So does it make sense to go to those guys? For one lineup, probably not. But if you're making multiple lineups, I don't hate that idea. Again, it's a really risky fade to fade Lillard right now. But it does make some sense because if he does struggle, it's Nurkic, it's CJ. Bucks lineup out. Oh, let's see. Are they starting their main guys? Bledsoe, Connaughton, Milton, DJ Wilson. Why are they doing that? So we get some mix of value and then a mix of the starters. I don't know what to make of this, to be honest. I don't think Bledsoe and Milton play the full game. Connaughton's in there. DJ Wilson is a viable punt. I don't understand NBA right now, man. I was really hoping they would wrestle out of their guys. So that was my build. I had a lot of value Bucks. I still think they're viable, but it's a lot riskier now when you have their main guys playing. I'm not going to get to Middleton, Bledsoe, or Brook Lopez. Frank Mason is still a viable punt. He's at 4-3. I don't know how many minutes he plays. I'd assume he probably gets at least 15 minutes, but now they're more in question when Bledsoe, Middleton, those guys are playing. Connaughton, he's starting at 4-2. I think he's solid. George Hill, I think he got ruled out, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's out for rest. They still have a lot of guys that they can play. DJ Wilson starting at min price. Playing alongside the starters, he's not a very high usage guy, but if he gets like 25, 30 minutes, I think he's certainly in play. So, yeah, I wish I had a better breakdown for you guys, but that was really like the last starting lineup I expected for playing some of their young guys and then some of their veterans. That's a tricky one. I'll probably have to rearrange my lineup here in the next 10 minutes. But let's go to Brooklyn. Oh, so back to Portland again. Melo, last guy I'll mention at 6'3". It makes it tricky, right? If you're going more the mid-range approach, then you can get to Melo. But on this slate, I really think you want to jam in 2 or 3 stars into your lineup. So I'm personally not going to get to Melo, but I get it if you go there. Lastly, Brooklyn. So LeVert and Allen are risky plays. They're in the same territory as Luka Doncic. They don't have anything to play for, but I could still see them playing their normal minutes because they've been resting on and off, right? Rest one game, play the full minutes the next game. Like that game against the Clippers, they were already locked in, and they still played 38 minutes. So Jared Allen and Caris LeVert are going to go unowned this slate. But I don't mind taking a shot there because these guys have huge upside in this type of matchup. So I like these guys. It's just, are you willing to take that risk? Because there is still a chance that they only play maybe the first half. That is a chance for sure. But if they get 35 plus from LeVert, from Jared Allen, I think they could crush their salaries. So up to you guys, and if you want to take that shot. Joe Harris, a little bit scoring dependent. He's the last guy I'll mention there for Brooklyn. Lastly, Pelicans, Magic. They're resting Drew, Ingram, Zion. Josh Hart, questionable too. And then I don't think J.J. Redick or Favors playing this one as well. Lonzo's 7-2. I'm going to pass. There are some interesting plays here. NAW, Frank Jackson are the guys I'm looking to, especially if Josh Hart is out. That's more minutes for them. They're really good. They're aggressive offensive players, NAW and Frank Jackson. So I do like those guys a good amount for value here, even in a tougher spot. Hayes, Melly, and Okafor, it's kind of a three-headed monster for their bigs. I think they're all in play, but a little bit riskier because they're still, do have some depth for the big men. So that's really it for me. Again, it's NAW and it's Frank Jackson, the value I like a lot for the Pelicans. I think each one more is fine too, but I'd rather get to NAW, Frank Jackson. And then lastly, Magic, they have nothing to play for. We could get some value here. Does Vooch play? I'd say not, but you never know. He played 21 minutes at last game. I wouldn't get to him at 9-1, no way. Fultz is at 5-2. Played limited minutes at last game. Does worry me. Like maybe a late slate play. I'm not going to get to DJ Augustine. I'm not paying 4 or 5 for James Ennis. There could be some value here, right, if all those guys end up resting. Maybe like a Vic Law, Frazier, Mo Bamba, Bryce Johnson. Like those guys could become viable. Kem Birch. It's just, kind of dependent on what the Magic do with their lineup. So, that Milwaukee game, again, that is really, really tricky, guys. I wish I had a better breakdown for you. Let's see. I'm going to try to let's do a Twitter search, Bucks minutes, see if anything comes up, any sort of clarity here. Yeah, we're probably not going to get any clarity, which is just wonderful. Let's see. I have Nurkic in now, but I may pivot to Ayton. Yeah, I mean, both Nurkic and Ayton. Let's get to some questions now, guys. Both Nurkic and Ayton are viable, but they're more contrarian options for sure. Sorry, I'm going to be looking at my phone for a little bit just because I have to make some changes here. I'm trying to Twitter search Luka Doncic minutes too. Let's see. Yeah, what is Sterling Brown? The Milwaukee guys I mentioned were the guys I would consider for value. Frank Mason, DJ Wilson, Pat Connaughton. Yeah, I mean, people are trying to figure out Doncic minutes. They're trying to figure out Bucks minutes. Let's see. Anybody taking Hardaway? I wouldn't play Hardaway. Not in this slate. Again, it really sets up, you got to get those stars in your lineup, in my opinion. Favorite forwards? Tricky right now because I'm trying to do some rearranging. Core's on this slate. Whew. I'll just go. Let's see. What do I want to go with? Booker, Lillard, Tony Bradley. Feel pretty good about those three. I'll throw Boban in there. I will. Just hope he gets the minutes. You never know with Rick Carlisle, but there you go. That's kind of how I'm attacking the slate. Now, sure, right? There's Nurkic that's viable. There's John Morant that's viable. Luka, LeVert, Jarrett Allen are in play too, but obviously a little bit riskier with their minutes. Guess I'm rocking Mikal Bridges. Yeah, I think he's fine. So right, there could be more value with the Spurs if both the Grizzlies and the Suns win. There could be some value. Nurkic or DeRozan. I will go Nurkic there. Stack Portland. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Thoughts on NAW? I do like NAW tonight a good amount. So again, the value for the Pelicans, NAW, Frank Jackson. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see, Brandon Clark or Dylan Brooks. I would go Brooks, even though I don't like playing guys like that. But he's a guy that is going to shoot the ball a ton. He's going to shoot it a ton. Wilson, Sarge, or Kleber. I think Wilson gets a lot of minutes today. Yeah, it's possible. The issue is Milwaukee still has a good amount of guys that they can play. All right, so let me go to Milwaukee really quick. So they have DiVincenzo, Marvin Williams, Robin Lopez, Thanos Antetokounmpo. It worries me a bit. Now, sure, again, DJ is min price, But playing alongside, like if DJ was starting with like Frank Mason and Thanos Antetokounmpo, then I would like him a lot more. But he's starting alongside these high usage guys, which does worry me a bit. How does this look? Lillard, Booker, Keldon, Nurkic, Bradley, NAW, Pat C, and Boban. That's kind of the approach that I'm getting to right now, or at least my build. That's how I'm looking. So yeah, I think that's pretty solid, really. You think Ennis does well? Yeah, he could do okay. 2-center approach with all the point guard value. Yep, again, that's the way I'm going. Right now, I got Boban in there. I got Tony Bradley in there. Going Lillard, Booker, and Mundo, Melo, Boban, Morant, DJ Wilson, Tony Bradley. I think that's fine. Yeah, no real issue there from me. If you want, guys, like you could leave a spot or two open in the late games and hope maybe. So let's just say the Magic rests more of their guys, like Vucevic. Then a guy like Kem Birch looks really good. Then some other guys become a little bit more viable. Keldon Johnson, yeah, I think Keldon Johnson is certainly in play. Niang or Sterling Brown, those two, I guess Sterling Brown. We're not going to get any more news, are we? I'm trying to still move my lineup around. This could get ugly. Grizzlies, Morant, Brooks, Anderson, Tolliver, Valanciunas. I mean, yeah, the chalk build right now is going to be Booker and Lillard for sure. DK, Pat Connaughton, Redick. I don't think Redick plays, so Pat Connaughton there for me. Small forward is pretty ugly. Like, if you don't take a shot on Luka, it's not pretty. I will just say that. I like Gary Trent. I'm not paying that price for Gary Trent. He has to hit those threes, so I'm not going to go there. E'Twaun Moore. Yeah, I think E'Twaun Moore is in play for sure. I prefer NAW and Frank Jackson, but I think he's certainly viable for sure. Let's see. I like Melo. I think Melo's okay. If you had to choose Bradley or Boban, it's going to be Bradley for me just because I feel more confident with the minutes. So yeah, Tony Bradley over Boban if I had to pick. Let's see. Mundo at small forward. Yeah, I think Mundo's in play. If more of those guys rest for Magic, right? So DJ, Vucevic, Fultz, like those guys are out, then Wes and Mundo is certainly like Magic could be really thin. So that's what I'm saying. There could be more value open up in that late game. If Davis starts over Bradley, who would you play? Still Tony Bradley for me. I think he has more upside. Bircher and Mundo, of those two would be Kem Birch. But again, that's assuming like Vucevic would be out. So with CJ ineffective with his back, I think Trent picks up more shots. That's true, but he just has a low floor. Like that's the reason why I don't like playing him. And he's not cheap either, right? He's no longer. I should probably get off Milwaukee. That would be good. He's 5'1", so just hear me out here, right? That game against Philly, he did not shoot the ball well. 2 of 8. He went for 10 fancy points. 10. This game against Dallas, shot the ball 11 times, 18 fancy points. He doesn't do anything else besides score the ball. Sure, on games where he shoots the ball really well, 10 of 15, he can have a big game. But he literally has to hit his threes. If he doesn't, don't be surprised if he gets you under 10 fancy points. Already, I have Keldon. Yes, right now, I actually have Keldon in 2. I'm kind of hoping that both the Suns and the Grizzlies win, and then the Spurs have nothing to play for, and then Keldon gets extended. Like, that's kind of where I'm looking right now. In the early game, I only have Booker and Boban right now. Let's see. I have Boban, Booker, Ayton, and Morant okay for the one. Yeah, that's good with me. I have no issue with any of those guys. Again, my concern with Boban is just the minutes because it's Rick Carlisle. But, yeah, I'm good. Those 4 guys are like guys I would consider. Any love for Trey Burke? Not really. Hardaway? I'm not going to get there either. Magic or the Mavs just have too many like guards, wings they can use. So I don't feel comfortable using them in this slate. I'm rolling out Lillard, Booker, Patsy, Nurk, Bradley, and some assortment of later value. I think that's a really good start. I do. So let's see. DJ versus J-Val. Well, J-Val's going to be matched up against Brook Lopez. Because DJ's playing at the 4. Lonnie Walker, yeah, I mean, again, him, Keldon Johnson, if the Spurs have nothing to play for, right? If the Grizzlies win and the Suns win, I could see the Spurs resting some guys, and then guys like Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson become a lot more viable. Pick one tiers, Melo, Rubio, Allen, THJ, Lonzo. Jared Allen there, if that's the right Allen. Yeah, I would for sure go Jared Allen. Well, yeah, I think the Nets get the normal minutes, but you never know. I would go Jared Allen personally. I think I'm going to stick with Trent for GP. Gets at least 35 minutes a game, Portland play. Yep, fine. Allen, it's locked. No Lopez is on J-Val. Yep. Morant, Booker, Melo, DJ, Boban, Lillard, Birch, and Bradley. Yeah, pretty similar to me. You went with no. Oh, you want the 3 guards? Okay. Yep, good with me. Thanks, DK. Good luck today. Yeah, no problem, man. Good luck, everyone. Yeah, let's see. Musa dart throw. I wouldn't do that with the Nets guys, their starters being there. Musa is like a guy I would consider if they're all out. Patsy, 5%, dang, I'll take it. I think the reason he's that low owned is just because, the Milwaukee, we don't know what the main guys are going to play for Milwaukee, right? We don't. DJ Wilson, 40% in the $40 single entry. I don't know. I don't think he was a bad play, but 40% owned. I don't know, right? I don't know if I would do that, 40%. I gave you my worries. Milwaukee they still have a lot of guys they can use. They still, even with Ersan out and even with DJ starting, they have DiVincenzo, like Pat Connaughton can run some if they run small ball. They have Marvin Williams. They have Robin Lopez. They have Fantas Antetokounmpo. I don't know. 8 and low owned. Yeah, I kind of figured that would be the case. Lillard, Booker, Pat C, Melo, Bradley, Rubio, Moore, and Boban. Let's see. Lillard, Booker, Keldon, Nurkic, Boban, NAW, Frank, or Ennis, May, Pivot, and Bradley. Yeah, that looks pretty good right now for me. I'm going Lillard, Booker, Melo, Wilson, Bradley, Morant, Nwundu, and Frank Jackson. Yep, I'm good with that too. If DJW isn't going to get much usage, I wouldn't think at least in the first quarter. That's my thoughts too, right? So sure, he's min price and he's starting, but how many minutes he's going to play, and how many minutes will he play alongside lower usage guys where he can actually take some shots, right? Because playing alongside Bledsoe and Brook Lopez and Middleton, Wilson's just going to stand in the corner. He's not going to do anything. So we'll see. Booker 84%, Morant 53%. No surprises there, to be honest. Thoughts on Steph Curry for later if Lucas sits. That game's going on right now, though. What's Morant's ownership? I think someone said like 50% in one of theirs. Let's see. I'm in the $66 tournament. I'll try to find Morant. So let's see. Booker's 77% in the $66. Dylan Brooks 9%. Mikal Bridges 10, 8 and 25. Boban is 83% owned, and Ja Morant is 61% owned. So with Ja Morant and Devin Booker being so high owned, and I just know Lillard's going to be high owned, right? That means I took a shot on Nurkic. I'm going to get Nurkic at super low ownership. I think Karis LeVert and Jared Allen are also going to be super, super low owned. But if the Nets give those guys their normal run, LeVert and Allen, I think they could be sneaky plays that no one's on that could crush. Who scores more, Morant or Ayton? I'm definitely going to go Ja there right now. The way things are going, Ayton 22%. Yeah, he's an interesting pivot right off Booker. Could you play them both? I probably wouldn't have, but I get it. I guess I am playing Lillard and Nurkic, so Boban could be really risky. He is, and he's 83% owned. But the last game he started, he played over 20 minutes for Porzingis. And the matchup rate, it's not like they're playing a small ball team. So who knows, though? It's Rick Carlisle. We could all be tilting after the slate because Boban only plays 5 minutes. How much you betting today, DK? Only like $70. And I've been taking it light on these slates for sure. Bradley was a safer play, yes, for sure. I played them both. I played both Bradley and Boban. I think that's going to be a very similar build. I think a lot of people are on the same place because Guards are eating up so much ownership that you kind of have to go value at center. And I'll watch Ed Davis get 35 minutes since I took Bradley. You know what's going to happen. Again, and the last few days of the NBA, you just want to play the bad plays. If you play the bad plays, you'll win money. That's what it seems like. DK, do you have a video on best contest to enter and how to go about cash GPP? I'm just starting serious about DFS. I don't, but I can do one. A couple people have asked me about that. If you're doing cash games, I recommend doing like $1 50/50s or $1 double ups because the Sharks, they're not going to be in those contests. You play against lesser competition. So again, I can make a video on that though. That's usually how I recommend it. And then for GPPs, the kind of tournaments I like targeting are the smaller entry, or like the smaller size tournament single entry, right? So I'll enter like a $50 single entry tournament with like 100 people or something like that, right? I think those are the easiest to make a lot of money in instead of like throwing in like a $40 single entry into a tournament that has like 3,000 people in it. All the guard ownership means NAW, Frank Jackson, Murray, etc. won't be high owned, realistically. Completely agree. Again, I have NAW in. Thanasis to come with 2% in one of my tournaments if he hits. Yeah, I don't know what the Bucks are going to do with their starters minutes. I have NAW in my utility, but can pivot to Birch. Yep, I think that's a good plan. Cam Johnson, 8%. I hope he gets 35. He should get good run. Spurs have nothing to play for. Do you think Pirtle still gets good minutes? I would say no. I think Eubanks gets good run, and then Samancic. So that's just my best guess, though. Met Moutier, not Murray. Yep, I understand. Yeah, Moutier is a guy that is going to go very, very low owned, but I have a little bit of interest in him if the starters do end up resting their second half. Yeah, could Pirtle still play the minutes? He could. But they still do have two other bigs they can use, younger guys. So, who knows? Melo and NW, pivot to Keldon and Fultz if Spurs are eliminated before a game. Yeah, again, you're going to want to have some backup plans, guys, right? So if the Spurs get eliminated, they rest some guys. There could be better value opening up there. Back to work, GL fellas. Yep, I am back to work as well in about 5 minutes. Mason at 0.9%. Hopefully he balls. Yeah, just, the minutes, right? I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. If he gets like 20 minutes, I think he could definitely get you there. I'm asking because I have Pirtle in my tier 6 for GPP thing. Not much to pick from in that tier. Yeah, it's tricky right now. I think the minutes would be more at risk if they have nothing to play for. So it would definitely make him a little bit riskier play. Let me refresh Fantasy Labs one more time, see if we got any more news. We got the news for the early game, so I don't think we're really waiting on anything else. And then I'll get out of here, guys. Let's see. Well, I should probably go to Fantasy Labs. That would be also helpful. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get news for a bit for the other games. So, let's see. What's your actual job? I work for a financial software company. Working from home currently right now because of Corona. So that's why I'm able to live stream at lunch. Bledsoe, Lopez, and let's see. Brooks are locked. Probably should have went with Brooks. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys all have a good day. Hopefully coaches actually do smart things today and we win some money. But you never know. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you all later.